Welcome back to Bachelor Happy Hour's Golden Hour. Thanks so much for joining us today. We are so excited to be here. How are you doing today, Susan?
I'm great. I'm really excited about today, actually. And everybody, we have done so many great episodes. Be sure to check out our latest. We've been having so much fun. We answer questions and chatting with Bachelor Nation favorites from Joan's season.
Oh, we not only do we, today we have a very special guest. Aren't they all though, Susan?
I know.
Very special guest from Joan's season of The Golden Bachelorette. I won't keep you in suspense any longer. Hello, Keith. How are you?
Hello.
Welcome.
I hope I feel special. Okay.
You are special. You are.
Let me just say, if there's any
Really
question,
special.
if there's any question you are special, you will find out if you've listened to our past episodes. One of the questions we often ask is, if you were on a deserted island, who would you take with you? You must be, we met at Joan and Chalk's engagement party, but you must be a barrel of laughs because every guy
Everybody
has said
them.
they would have you on, if you could pick 3 guys for to be on a deserted island with.
I like
You're
it.
one of them. So what
You're
makes
good
you so
people,
damn
good
fun,
people.
Keith? What makes you so much fun?
No, it's my one thing that I've taught my daughters as well is just have fun with life. I mean, we're only here for a little short time.
That's
and
right.
might as well just have a good positive attitude towards it. I have a ton of fun. Yeah, I mean, that's just,
I will say,
I love people.
you laugh all the time at Joan's party. Joan and Chalk's party. I spoke with you a little bit, but every time I looked over, you were laughing. Or with a group, literally, you were laughing every
That could
time.
have been the wine too. Who knows? You never know.
So
how are you?
how are you?
Going?
How's life?
Yeah. No, it's
Your holidays were good.
Oh yeah. I mean, every year I quit giving my kids gifts. So we go to Mexico for the last 3 years. And
Oh, nice.
It's just a trip that my 3 daughters and we take off and
That's
we just
great.
get away for a week. Yeah. So
Wait, so you have 3 daughters?
Oh, 3. Oh yeah. Girl dad. Come on.
Yeah.
Girl dad. We know
Yeah.
that.
No, I've got 24, 22, and 18. So yeah.
Oh,
so
wow.
lots of fun.
So
So
what?
maybe
What?
that's where that picture came from, Kathy.
Yes.
So yeah, that was one of my questions. I was hoping you were going to say it was at least one of your daughters. I saw, I comb the internet for truth. That's where all truth lives, is on the
Yes.
internet.
Oh yeah.
And there was
believe
a picture.
I believe everything I read.
Please.
Listen, you know what I've learned from the internet? Everyone has a perfect life except me. That is what I've learned. Here's the thing. I want to know, there's a picture of you, I think it was yesterday, the day before, with 4 young ladies in bikinis. And
No,
you're
3.
just...
Yeah, 3 young. Yeah, that was
Oh,
my...
see,
those
he
are my
remembered.
3 daughters.
Are those your
it
3
says
daughters?
3 daughters.
Those are my daughters.
They
yes.
all look very different.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah, the first 2, like the first one, I feel so bad. People go, "Oh, you're your dad. You look just like your dad." So I feel real sorry for her.
Aw, stop.
Oh, stop.
And then they're all beautiful, but then my middle one got all the height. I mean, my ex-wife was 5'4", and so then my third daughter is, she's only 5.
Oh, she's tiny, dark hair, tiny, teeny.
Yeah.
How tall are you, Keith?
6'5".
And so how tall is your oldest daughter?
5'9" and
Wow.
growing still. Yeah.
That's like my daughter's 5'9". Yeah.
Yeah.
And your wife was 5'4"?
Yeah.
Oh, you're one of those people that can I just say, your ex-wife, because I'm 5'8", your ex-wife, I would have walked behind and said, that bitch, she stole a tall guy from the rest of us.
I loved your height when we met. I love a tall man.
Well, I crack up. I mean, I probably screwed up, but when I met all the bachelors from Jen's season or from Joey, and I look at them, and the first thing out of my mouth is, "You guys are short. I thought you'd be taller."
Did they not grow yet? I mean,
Yeah.
I'll tell you, the guys
season,
on you're
Jones season, we're all tall. Yeah,
I was going to
Mark,
say,
myself, yeah.
but you know what? You don't. When you're watching the show, you don't see it because everyone's tall, right?
Right.
But a lot of men in Hollywood shows and stuff are actually relatively short. But you guys were so tall.
how tall was Pascal? He wasn't as tall as everybody.
He was tiny. He's tiny.
Yeah, he's tiny. That's what I
I joke
thought.
tiny. He's probably 5'10" for all I know.
Yeah.
When we
Tiny
had our
is
big group
5'10"?
picture- Yeah, when we had our group picture, though, Jordan was in the back row, and then they asked him to move to the second row. He's 6'2", and he's like, I'm always in the back row. And I'm kind of like, dude, if you're short, you're short.
6'2" is short.
So tell us, we're in the new year. What's it mean to you? What changes are you making? I personally don't make resolutions, but what
No,
do you?
I don't make resolutions. I try to make resolutions, quote unquote, resolutions.
Do you make
throughout the
reservations?
year. Yeah, reservations are the best. A good meal, good glass of wine. That's where I go.
Yeah.
No, I just try to, again, it's just to improve
Enjoy.
upon myself, more than anything. The show last year, all the guys, we've all talked about it. It was like therapy. It saved me $200 an hour by just being with all these guys.
Same, ditto,
Yeah.
ditto, because you get to know yourself and who you
Yeah.
are.
What's the thing you learned, Keith? What do you know about yourself now that you didn't on the show?
You're
So,
perfect, and I wouldn't change a thing.
no,
That's what the internet told
but
me.
it told me not to change, but it did. But it helped me to change as well. So again, I have a big personality. You guys met me, right? Yeah.
The three of us, okay?
Yeah, we can control a room, no problem.
Yeah.
The thing, I used to hide behind my personality, and I would, in my relationships, finding love, whatever, I'd always hide behind it. And what I've learned is don't
How
hide.
do you mean hide behind it? What do you mean by that?
It was almost a shield, like a guard, to protect
You're
my heart.
describing me. Wow.
Yeah, just to protect my heart.
Yes.
And heck with it. Go. Yeah.
Let it out.
I've always been one. Yeah, just
Because
reject
we're
what's happening.
lovable.
Okay, but wait,
It's-
I have a question. I have
Yeah.
a question. All three of us clearly are big personalities. That
Yes.
goes without saying.
We're going to talk over each other this whole.
That's right. And
Kathy and I do it daily. So don't
daily.
worry.
But here's the question, Keith. Do you find, because Susan and I have talked about this, we're very good friends. We've talked about it together, and we've talked about it on the podcast. The fact that we are both big personalities, it takes a special person to see through the big personality and see that we are sensitive, we are caring, we are lovely, warm human beings. Do you find that in your dating life?
Yes, but I'm going to.
And are you dating?
I'm going to add a caveat on top of that, is that I need to also show more of that side without being scared of showing that portion of me, in the private moments and the one-on-one moments, even in a group setting.
And
That
not
I
be
think-
funny, you mean? Is that what
Yeah,
you're
not
saying?
be
And be
funny,
more
yeah, not-
serious.
Yeah, instead of always making light of
Joke.
the subject,
Yeah. Yeah.
actually show, what I'm actually
Your
feeling.
vulnerable side. Yeah.
That-
So
that'd be
are
the-
you dating? Have you been doing that?
I have been dating more. Yes.
I can't. Every person from that show.
Let me guess. Have you had a lot of women reach out to you through DMs?
Oh yeah, but I've only gone out with one woman through the DMs. I just think it's so to try to meet somebody through that. I've never done the apps. I'm not really comfortable with it. It's more through networking, people that I know, people that have reached out to me saying, hey, I know somebody, or I've had people reach out to me that have said, I'm friends with this person.
That's how we want to do that. Kathy, I think every person we come in contact with, do you have an older brother? Do you have an uncle? Your father? Your
Yeah.
So wait, I just want to step back for a minute, Keith, and ask you, you raised your daughters, correct?
Yeah, for the last,
Yeah.
well, since my oldest one was around 12 years old.
And you had them full time.
Yes, full time.
Yeah.
Physically,
He shared that on the
legally,
show.
everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I that to me,
We have a lot of respect for you.
yeah,
Right.
that is.
This is one thing. By the way, thank you very much for the compliment. But I get a lot of that compliment, but it's really weird because, or I shouldn't say weird. Single moms don't get the same compliments that I get
I know.
because the
We're
single-
expected.
You're
Yes.
expected to do it,
Yes.
and we're not. And it sort of is a bad on the guys. It's like, hold it, men aren't going to step up and raise their kids? No, I think they would, but we're not expected to. We're the
Yeah,
mom.
Right.
But
Tradition. Yeah.
I have as much respect for any single parent out there.
Absolutely.
It's hard.
It
Yeah.
is hard.
Yeah.
But it's also
And to
fun.
balance, you have to do the balance because you have to take care of yourself as well.
Yes.
It's not easy. Well,
Well-
raising kids isn't easy. I don't care if there's 3 people in the house.
I mean,
The hardest part for me was the empathy part. I mean, within a mom-dad relationship, there's there's one person with that empathy that gives you the hug, listens, and then there's the fixer. And I always used to be the fixer. But now I have to do both. Now I have to listen first and then
coddle them a little bit.
Oh gosh, yes.
Do they come to you for dating advice?
Dating advice, no, but we do talk about who they're dating. Yeah, I know I go to them for dating advice.
To make planning the perfect beach vacation easier, Beachbound launched the Perfect Beach Finder quiz. You can search all the destinations for all dates and price points all in one search. The quiz digs into what is important to travelers about their vacation, rendering suggestions based on personal interests. For the traveler that wants to keep all options on the table, the browser...
Whether it's for work or play.
Showcase friends of Katie's to help me out. Like this season of Next Question is for you.
It's for work or play. There's a Ford with a...
Because it just sounds so frivolous.
You're just dating around, as they
Just
say.
dating, right?
Hey, get behind the wheel of a new Ford today, based on calendar year total sales.
So wait, are you dating someone, Keith? Are you dating one woman, or are you just dating around, as they
Just
say?
dating right now. We'll see where things go. It's out there.
Have you seen one woman more than once? Is that
Yes.
dating? Like, what is dating around? Like,
Yeah, because I don't even like using the word around because it just sounds so frivolous.
it does.
But it's not. So no, I'm dating more than one person. For my brain, it's hard. Multitasking like that is really hard.
I
So
could never be good
right
at that.
now, I'm seeing one person, but serious, I don't know. It's only been a few dates, and we'll see where it goes. But
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yes,
I'm
it's
sorry.
early. It's
Bachelor
early.
Nation, I want you to hear this. Right before we came on air, I swear I heard Keith invite Susan and me on a double date. Are you two-timing us already, Keith?
already, look at me, just a player.
Just let her know we're coming. That's all.
That's
Yeah. We'll all have a blast. Wow. All right. Well, I don't know.
So, wait,
I've got
a couple questions I have.
Yeah.
What are your feelings coming off the show? Has it changed you in any way? Has it?
No, he did. We talked about that.
But to be really specific, I'm really more focused on me, which it's not selfish me.
No, it isn't.
But I'm really concentrating to make sure that the decisions I make, whether it's on a date, whether it's with my friends, whether it's with my daughters, that I'm not just doing it out of habit or to make
You're
somebody
conscious
happy.
of what
I'm conscious of my needs as well, and being honest with them, and it's good to be honest. You don't hide. Again, I'm going to go back to that thing. I'm trying not to hide my feelings behind and just be the chameleon that's friendly to everybody.
Go ahead.
Tell me what the feeling was when you were chosen the very first night as.
So I was right when it happened. I was like, I had forgotten all about the first impression was. But before we left, I mean, I've watched the show.
That's huge. Yeah.
Jordan. I was going to smack Jordan on the show. He kept calling me. Fanboy. I'm like, dude, shut up. But I've watched the show for 20 years. I mean, Trista and Ryan were my my favorite couple. So I've watched it for 20 years, whatever, off and on. Gosh, the night that I failed, after that, I was thinking about Hannah and her toast. Like, oh my God, there's a moment for me. I really effed up episode 4. But when
she gave you the first impression.
Before I came on the show, my daughters and I talked. And I said it would be really cool. I mean, let's manifest this or whatever. First impression rose. But when the rose got put on the table, I explained it to everybody what it was for. Nobody really knew. And so I explained it to everybody. But then when I was sitting with Joan, I'd forgotten all about it. I had no idea. And she left. It's like, did she have to go to the restroom or what? She's been gone a long time.
She went to go get the rose.
And she went and got the rose. And she came around the corner and I saw the rose. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is happening. Yes, this is.
Did you just feel so special?
Yeah, you do. And it's not, it wasn't because I wanted it. It was really nice just to be
acknowledged.
Thought of.
Acknowledged. Yes.
Yeah, acknowledged.
Yeah.
Is the word. Yeah, that's what I was. Acknowledged.
Wow. So how did you get on the show, Keith? Did you apply?
I think I was the only guy that applied.
I applied.
Yeah,
We all
nice ones.
No,
Well, I
on
know
our
a
show,
lot
most
guys,
of us.
people, their daughters applied for them or friends applied.
Some
Was it
people,
Michael?
yeah.
Who was it? Was it Michael? Somebody, I think it was Michael, who's didn't his daughter or somebody applied and he didn't even know, and he got a
Yeah.
phone call and he thought it was a joke.
Yeah.
Are you serious? I didn't
Yeah.
hear that.
Yeah,
I think
no, that
I'm
was
not sure it
Michael.
was Michael, but one
That's
of them.
great.
Yeah.
There were some guys that their daughters had applied a year earlier, and they, a year and a half had gone by, and all of a sudden they get a phone call, and it's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
Mine was 3 years.
Oh my God.
3 years. I forgot all about it and got a phone call. And I was like, I didn't think you liked me. She said, no, we shut down due to the pandemic. And I was like,
Yeah. Well, I tried to get a friend of mine. She was 26 at the time to apply for Bachelor, Bachelorette. And she never did. And, whatever. And then she called me one day and she's like, you need to apply for this.
Yeah.
And so I looked it up, but at the time it said you had to be 65. And I think I was 58, 59 at the time. That was
How old
for
are you now, Keith?
62.
Okay.
And so then I watched Gary's season, and it was on the Final Rose. After the Final Rose show, I went home that night, popped a bottle of wine, filled
I
up
said,
the-
I'm doing this.
I'm doing
Have you-
this.
hey,
Let's
Susan,
go.
If they can do it, I can do it.
Have you noticed that Keith mentions a lot about popping bottles of wine? You're
You're
my
our
guy,
kinda
Keith.
guy.
You're our kind of guy. For me, I applied. Literally, I saw it. My daughter was had a baby prematurely, and I was sitting with her because the baby was in the NICU, and I'm just scrolling through again, all true life on Facebook, and I see this advertisement, and I click the button, and never. That's how much thought I could do that. Click. They called me the next day.
Oh,
Isn't
wow.
that crazy?
And it went
That is
so
awesome.
fast, and that was like middle of May when I signed.
Oh, yeah, because
and then we filmed
because
in
we
July.
found out you tape in like July, whatever. Yeah, June. I found out 2 weeks before, like you need to be ready in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
But-
I had a
and-
little more
and-
notice.
The hard part too is the not knowing.
Yeah.
You're going through all the process and you really
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, I filled out the application in November. Didn't hear from them until January when it started.
Yeah,
That's not bad. That's only a couple
Yeah.
months.
Well, no, that's when it started, but you didn't find out for another 6 months.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And my buddies
right.
and I, we were sitting around again over a glass of wine, and it was like throwing, 1, 2, 3. Am I going to get picked or not? And two of us were. I was a
Crazy.
yes, and I'm like, guys,
Okay,
don't
so
ever doubt me.
I want to know now. You've had obviously, you and Joan didn't work out. Whatever. I want to know, what are the character traits? What is it you look for in a woman? Susan, get a pencil, take notes for us. What are you
Okay,
looking?
I'm
What are you
recording
looking?
this.
Yeah. What do you look
No,
for?
that's fine. The number one, I really, that it sums it up is a positive attitude towards life. I mean, you have to just be.
Yes.
And I don't want to say you have to be a fun person. I look for an intelligent woman, somebody who is self-aware. When I say successful, that doesn't mean financial. I mean successful in the fact that you're a strong woman, that you know what you want, and you are good where you're at in your life and where you want to go. And then you have to have a positive outlook on life as well. Physically, I'm a big eyes and smile. I mean, when you see that, that's the first thing you see.
Yeah.
And
smile.
that actually gives you your personality. If that,
Yeah.
Mhm.
aura
Yeah.
that comes, there's an energy and an aura that I feel. with
Can I
people.
just say, for people who don't know, we're doing this on a video, and Keith is talking, and Susan and I are both batting our eyes and smiling ear to ear.
So, Keith, have you ever been on a dating site? Did you ever have
No.
to swipe left, right? Never.
I said no.
Once I was sitting around in my little local. There's a lot of alcohol in this. I'm sitting at a little local bar, and the waitresses were like, and I was like, yeah, I probably need to get out there and date it. I've been divorced for maybe a year and a half, and so they helped me do my Bumble profile.
Okay.
And we were picking pictures out, and I think
But
I lasted.
Isn't
like
it difficult to, online? You're just looking at a photograph,
Yeah.
hoping
And that's-
it's current. You never know,
Well, in
But
fact,
you don't see that smile and that twinkle and that attitude. It's difficult.
so the other thing I've tried not to do now is if I've been set up on a date, they go, hey, do you want me to send you a picture? And I'm like, no, don't send me a picture, because then I have a preconceived notion of what she looks like, because there's a physical attraction too, but
Yes.
a personality, goes way beyond the physical
It sure
attraction as
does.
well, and it
It
really
sure
helps.
Listen, what a smart man you are.
Yeah, we like you.
But Keith, I have a question because again, Susan and I have strong personalities. I have had lots of dates with men who say they want a woman who is everything you described: strong personality, successful, again, not necessarily monetarily, but who knows who she is, knows what she wants, and is confident in herself. But then as time goes on, they often will say, well, that isn't quite what I meant. So Susan and I have talked about this because a lot of
become
men,
intimidating. too.
that's where I was going. You don't find that at all?
That is what has helped me from the show and from learning about myself over the last, just being single, is be confident in myself and don't get that jealous. I think I don't know if it's a jealousy or something about, you go to a party or you go out somewhere and that person, their friend group, even at this age, we all have our own friend groups, and now we're
Sure.
trying to mix them together.
Yes.
So let that person be who they are, and don't be jealous or envious or anything about it. That's who you're dating. That's why you pick that person. Accept it and love it, and be comfortable with who you are, that you might be in the, again, I'm used to being out on front and center. Be okay with being in the
Who
back
you
row
are.
and just hang.
Be
and that's
okay
fun.
with who you
Wow.
are. How was it getting to know all the men? Like your show, the love and the bonding and the children being shown. It was just so emotional and
Yes.
beautiful.
By the way,
Yes.
the kids, they have a big group text site now called the Golden Kids.
Oh,
And from that show, it's like 40 of them. My oldest daughter was like, Dad, how do I get off of this thing? She was talking about, because Annika's my middle daughter, and she was instigator of helping put it
Just
together.
tell her to put it on silent.
Yeah. she's
no,
like,
you can leave the group.
Ding, 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 ding.
I know. It's
You can
annoying.
leave. Oh,
You know
that's funny.
That's
So, but
really
that to me, that show, that was my favorite taping show at all, because all the kids and all the families,
Oh, it was beautiful.
and I love all the guys, all 20 of us that were on the show. Don't get me wrong, but I've got my core six.
And
probably that
And
I-
well,
And we
and
wanna
that was
know
where I
who
was.
they
That's
are.
where I was. No, that's where my next question. But I didn't want to interrupt because I'm so prone to do that. You're on a deserted island, Keith. Besides Susan and me, who you get three
You
choices.
get 3
I
choices.
Who
get
you
three.
taking?
Oh, Jordan, Dan, and Mark are probably the three that I probably. Those are the three. Again, hey, all you other guys that are listening out there, I don't want. I mean,
Jordan said you.
Yeah.
no, Jordan and I are tight. Yeah,
That's what he said.
First day we were on there, somebody, I think it was Greg, goes, "Do you guys know each other?" And it was just
they
this
said about
banter.
us?
That's
we
what
had
they
this
said about
banter.
Kathy and I. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you and Jordan? So Susan and I are very different. I mean, we look different. We act.
Night and day.
We are night and day on so many things, but we would walk on hot coals for each other.
Yeah.
Are you and Jordan different, or are you very similar?
I think we have a different. It's just a collage or a mix of everything. I mean, we get
It's just
along
their
so well.
personalities mesh and you get
Yeah.
along. You get each other. Yeah.
Well, I'll throw it out. Like Dan is a lot more quiet and
Yes.
but it's kind of fun.
Nice
Jordan-
man.
Yeah, and then Mark, we were in a group, and somebody asked me, they go, "Give me something." I was at Chalk's party. Somebody came up and they were talking to Mark, and they go, "Keith, give me something bad to say about Mark." I'm
I couldn't think of anything.
No, well, I did. The only thing, he's a soft talker. That's the worst thing. It's like, Mark, can you speak up?
Yeah.
But so
I
Mark
feel
is-
like Mark has come out of his shell a little bit. He
With
seemed
Barbara,
a little
have you seen
shyer
him?
in the beginning.
Have you seen him with? So a few
Yeah.
little questions. Inquiring minds want to know. I met Mark and his girlfriend. They seem Barbara. They seem very happy.
Oh, and she's so sweet. She is really nice and so
She
sweet.
seems
I
really
called him
nice.
on. It was right before New Year's. I called him, and they were in. They were doing the big family get together and
Yes.
everybody meet. And Barbara took the phone from Mark, and we started talking. I mean, she's just so easy to talk to.
Yeah,
and so
she
nice.
is. She was
Shit.
a doll.
How did they meet? Didn't she reach out to him on
She reached
Instagram?
out to him. Yeah, she
Yeah.
This is what I'm talking about, Kathy.
I know.
Men our age don't go on social media.
I know,
Women
I
do,
know.
and women aren't shy anymore.
So I'm not going to say I disagree. I've got some buddies that have tried to get me on, and they're 62 years old. They're back. I went to Purdue University. It's most of my
I'll
fraternity.
date a 62-year-old.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
yeah. All right, I'll throw it out. Hey, all my buds out there, if you're hearing this, give me a call. So they, but they're on sites like when they travel on work or whatever, they're on a site even to date in that area. So
yeah, Tinder, all of them.
I just don't get it. I just don't get it.
What's your age range that you'll date, Keith?
Wow. Let's see, I'm 62, 50 to, the high end is up in the air because if I have to throw a number, I'll throw 65. But again, I try not to throw age into it. It's a matter of maturity. It's a matter of, do we get along? There's a lot of things that come into play besides age.
I'm 67. I'm just saying.
Okay. Hey,
Susan.
Yeah.
All right. So we do fan.
Flip up your resume on
Yeah. I'll send you my resume.
I'm going back on Instagram and Facebook where the truth lives. Okay. We do fan questions, Keith, and we're gonna
Nation, yes.
Bachelor Nation people write in. I'm gonna read a question. You're gonna help us answer it if you're willing to do that.
Yeah.
All right,
Give
here we
people
go.
some advice.
My big joke is that, so I was on with Joe and Serena, and they're like, "Hey, we're going to ask you questions," and this is right after Jen's, after the fun. And I'm like, "Do I have a choice?" And so when you ask me a question, I'm like, "Do I have a choice here?"
Yeah, no, but this will not torture you.
This is fun.
All right. This is from Nina, and she says, "Hi, ladies. I love your podcast, and I'm really hoping you see this. I could so use your advice. My husband and I are officially ready to file for divorce, and we need to tell our kids. How do we do this? We have 2 teenagers and our youngest is 10. For context, we're splitting up because of an infidelity on my husband's part about a year ago that we just haven't been able to bounce back from. I don't want to make the kids hate their dad, but I really do want to be honest with them. They have no idea that our marriage has been having issues, so this will come as a shock. Love you, ladies. Thank you so much. Go, Keith, go."
Kids are more resilient than you think. When I got divorced and I went to my kids, they were like, "Why?" They knew things weren't good, and they asked me why I didn't do it sooner. But
That's
kids are
what
very,
my kids said.
and so kids are more aware than you probably think. Number one. Number two is just be honest. Don't treat them as kids.
So you would tell a 10-year-old that your father...
Daddy cheated?
You would tell a 10-year-old that?
No, I wouldn't use the word cheated or anything. We have there's a way to talk about the differences that you have, that you're growing apart. The love isn't there anymore. I think there's a bigger picture that you talk about. If you delve into the details, then you can talk mean about somebody.
Yeah.
Don't try to talk mean about anyone. It's just
I agree.
situation.
It's their father, right?
Yeah.
People make mistakes, but my feeling as I read it, I'm thinking they got to break it. A lot of times they blame the mom. Mom don't want to be married anymore, and it's not just mom.
See,
that's something caused that.
Well, I would think that it's, what did dad do? See, it's from the guy point of view.
Yeah.
But either way, take blame out of it. It's just, by the way, it takes 2 to tango. The infidelity happened, and I'm sorry, Nina, but you and your husband just
can't make it
stopped communicating in some way or stopped growing together in some way, and that's the infidelity happened. But there's something behind that, the foundation that started it.
My parents were divorced when I was 6, and.
Did they come to you and tell you that they were splitting, or did you just notice that dad lived somewhere else?
I mean, it was a shit show. But
that's a different time back then too. Again, now with everybody talks more and is more open with kids. I had to treat my daughters older than they were. Being a single dad, I was still traveling for work, although work was really nice to me on my travel schedule.
Who kept them when you were working?
I got there was a gal that I had just come and stay at the house with and make sure they got to school.
Wow.
She worked at my company in HR. Yeah. So I had a whole village helping. I had a whole village helping me out. So
because you're good people.
Thank you. We all are. No, that's what I would recommend. Also, is just be there for them. It's going to be tough times. They're not going to understand it, and so you're going to have to you're going to have to.
What about when they question you? They're going to ask questions,
Yeah.
right?
But again, it's bigger picture. It's don't get into the blame game, Dina. It's once you get into the blame game, then
there's no turning back.
Yeah, because you're going to blame him, and then he's going to go, "Your mom said what?" Because the kids will tell him, and then he's going, "Well, your mom did this.
The only
he
thing
did this. Your mom did this." No, it's not about who did what to who. We're moving on. We grew apart.
But wait, let me ask a question, because I don't remember, Susan, but Keith, when you said, telling your kids you fall out of love, I don't know if my parents said that, but I remember feeling, if they don't love each other, are they going to stop loving me? And that was growing up. That was always an issue for me with my parents. Do they love me? A lot of other things were going on, but that I just don't know. I mean, I don't know what. I think the age matters, but I wouldn't. Nina,
it might be a little easier as they're older.
I mean, my youngest was 6 when I told her.
Well, that's young. Yeah,
that's how old I was.
And then
and I was the youngest.
The other one to Nina is, I don't know, the things you don't know, it's just a simple question. But even though there's infidelity, I kind of doubt there's that they have a common bond that they can sit. But if they're there for the kids and can sit in the same room and tell them together and do it nicely.
I agree. Sit them down as a family. Yes. And this has nothing to do with you.
Right.
We love you, and we're going to work this out.
That's exactly it.
Well, I'm depressed. I want to go on to a fun game now. This is depressing.
Yeah, we're going to have some fun, Keith. And this is about getting to know Keith.
Okay.
So before we let you go, we want to play a little game.
Well, why do you laugh before you say this?
We're going to ask you some fun
because we laugh a lot, Keith. Nothing more, nothing less. We laugh a lot.
And this is so our listeners can get to know what we know.
Okay.
Deal? Okay. Kathy, you want to read the first one?
Okay, Keith, here we go. What is a favorite memory you have from when you were a teenager?
Teenager. I guess, so 18, 19, I'm going to go in that until later because, high school was nice, but my core friend group came out of college, and it was probably joining my fraternity and meeting the guys. I mean, we just had our 40th.
Where did you go to college?
Purdue, and I was a Phi Delta Theta there.
My husband was Phi Delta
really?
Theta. Yeah.
He's a stud. What a stud. So, but like I even told Jordan or some of the guys, so we just had our 40th reunion in Manhattan Beach, and 15 out of 25 guys show up. I mean, we're still tight with each other to this day.
That's your favorite memory.
All right.
And my favorite memory is my friendships that I made, right when I joined the fraternity.
I love it.
Kathy,
all right,
what was yours?
We're moving on. I don't even want to talk about it. What would the title of your autobiography be, Keith?
I Love My Life.
Oh, I love that.
I love
That's
my life.
perfect.
And that's, my buddies give me a hard time. Not a hard time. They just, get a couple glasses of wine in, maybe a bottle in, and all of a sudden I'm going,
You're good to go.
I love my life.
If you could bring back any fashion trend or old slang, what would it be?
I like the bell bottom, the whole freaking.
They're back, Keith.
They're back.
Get with the program. They're back already.
I know. Because I've got my jogger pants and stuff like that, and I'm like, dude, let's get some boot cuts out there and some bell bottoms.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, is there something you've always wanted to do and just haven't done it yet?
What was? Let's see. There's a lot of things I want to do. I want to go play golf at Augusta. That's not.
I've been to Augusta. I've been to the golf tournament there.
We're heading to Pebble Beach this month.
It's gorgeous.
Are you guys coming?
Yeah. Are you going to be there?
We'll be there.
I'll be there.
Do you play? Are you a good golfer?
I'm trying. I just got out this week. I played on Tuesday, hit balls Thursday. Played
Jesus. What's your handicap?
Well, it's a 10-7 right now.
I don't even have a handicap. I played Top Golf yesterday.
Wait a minute.
It looked great.
Wait. We got to wrap here in a second, but important things. You have a 10 handicap?
Yeah, but
Keith,
I'm planning to probably
listen to me.
Be on my team,
No,
Keith.
Keith,
Be on my
you're mine.
team.
You're my partner. You're my partner. Because here's
I
the
asked
thing.
first.
I drive a long ball, but I drive a long ball, so we can count my drives.
Yes.
And then you're chipping and putting. We got this.
Yeah. Yeah. No, because I play old man golf. So when I was 50, I tried out for, things that I want to do. So I always wanted to get on ESPN. So when I was 50, I tried out for the long drive competition, and I was one round away. I was hitting the ball like 380 at the time.
Kathy,
Jesus.
let
We're
him
s-
do the drive.
No, I'm stuck now. I'm terrible. I only hit it 230 now. I got
I
my
can't
knee
even do that, I
hurt,
don't think.
whatever.
Well, I was going to say my best drive, my longest drive was 210. So I
That's
guess
awesome.
no, that I
Yeah.
said my best drive.
The
So
one time.
yeah. Okay. You know what, Keith? We first of all
This
can't
went
wait
so
to
fast.
see you. It went
Didn't it
so
go
fast.
We love talking to you.
We love it.
Yeah,
We
I can
cannot
talk
wait
all
to
day
see
long.
you. We will see you soon.
Yes,
but
we will.
unfortunately, that's going to do it. We're crying
I know.
for this episode of Bachelor Happy Hours Golden Hour. Thank you, Keith, for joining us, for giving the great advice, for sharing those important moments in your life.
And be sure to follow Bachelor Happy Hour as we have great new episodes coming out every week. You don't want to miss.
Yeah, you don't. And please, we keep reminding you, submit your questions to us. All you have to do is go to bachelornation.com/golden hour or DM us on Instagram at Bachelor Happy Hour. And while you're there, you can DM Susan and me as well. Just if you have the time.
Listen to Bachelor Happy Hour's Golden Hour on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you listen to your podcast. Thanks. We'll see you soon.
Have a great week, everybody.